these workouts were sent to the CrossFit Games team, and they came back and they didn't change it. So they accepted this programming.
CrossFit's awesome.
Hello. There it is. What is up, you sexy beasts? It is Monday morning once again. Welcome back to the About Last Week podcast. It's becoming one of my favorite things to do in the week, is to come and sit down here on a Monday morning and talk to your beautiful faces. I come into the studio and they change the lights every week. One week it's blue, one week it's red, one week it's purple, and it's a nice surprise. You know, when you come in and you just don't know what you're going to get. And today we're rocking the purple, and I love it. I don't hate it at all. Hope you guys have had a fantastic weekend. It is semi-finals week. It has finally arrived. I've pretty much cleared my whole week just to prepare, pack, get ready for the Torium Pro. I take everything. I take my big screen computer, my big monitor. I pack all my clothes that I have in my whole wardrobe. Every camera, every bit of kit I have, I take with me. It's a big ordeal. It's kind of like, it is the pinnacle. The semi-finals and then the games, obviously, is like the pinnacle of a CrossFitter's, year, really. So it's exciting times. And today we are going to chat about semi-finals, in particular the Syndicate Crown. That's this weekend. And we're going to talk programming. I watched Ben Smith's podcast for the first time ever this week and really enjoyed it. And Ben obviously won. He was the fittest man on earth, 2015 CrossFit Games champion, and just been in the game for a very, very long time. And so when he speaks, when he puts anything out there, it's always worth listening to, because Ben is an OG and he understands CrossFit probably more than anyone, or as good as anyone out there. And Ben, in this particular podcast, was pretty upset, pretty disappointed, pretty annoyed at the programming that came out for the Syndicate Crown. And he kind of works his way through all 6 of the workouts, and he doesn't seem to like any of them. And I thought, let's have a chat about that today. Let's have a chat about the 6 workouts. And I want to hear what you guys think, because someone like Ben Smith, he's in that category of someone who's been there since the start. He's been to pretty much every CrossFit game that's ever run. He's been, he's an OG. And so with that does come a kind of a romanticism, or someone who loves the way that things used to be. Maybe someone who doesn't enjoy change or embrace change. Maybe. Or perhaps he's just completely right, and that the way that CrossFit is now and the direction it's heading in is not the way that it should, is not the best way to go, and that we should return more to our roots. And then obviously there's someone like myself. I would probably put myself in the category of someone who likes things to progress and change. And, you see this everywhere. You see this when a new sponsor like Monster Energy comes into the game. Some people are really for it. They're really for the new money that's coming in for the athletes. And others are like, no, this is a compromise. Like, you're compromising what CrossFit's all about. Letting these kind of companies that have shares in Coca-Cola come into the sport. We are diluting what CrossFit is supposed to be. And so there's always this tension between those who just love the way that things used to be. I'd put Sevan in this category, someone who's been there since the start, someone who's close with Greg Glassman. You seem to have these 2 camps. You have the people that love Dave Castro, want him back, and then you have people that are just like, nah, let's move on, let's move forwards, let's see what this new day has to bring. And the question I have for you today, overall, the overarching question is, where do you fall? Do you think that CrossFit is rapidly moving in the wrong direction when it comes to programming, when it comes to sponsorship agreements, just everything, the media, the whole shebang? Where do you fall? Do you think we are just completely heading in the wrong direction? It's going to be a train wreck soon. Or are you like, no, you know what? I like this change. I like some of the new stuff that's coming out. And I don't think we have diluted the sport that much. Sure, it's evolving and changing, but that is a good thing. Anyway, I digress. Let's get back to the Syndicate Crown programming. So let's have a look. Workout number 1. This is a workout that CrossFit has given all the semifinals to do. It is the strength workout, and it is a barbell complex. It is 6 repetitions in total. We have 3 cleans. It can be any clean, squat clean or power clean. 3 cleans, followed by 2 front squats, and then finally 1 shoulder to overhead or 1 jerk. So 6 movements. And I heard, so Ben's kind of input on this workout was, hey, that's not very thoughtful when it comes to the athletes, like making them do this many repetitions at the start of the weekend. So if you do the math there, as far as squatting goes, let's assume you're going for 3 squat cleans and then 2 front squats. That's 5 repetitions per set, and you've got 3 attempts. So that's 15 reps. 15 reps at a near maximal, like a pretty heavy load. Obviously, these guys and girls are trying to put up the best weights they can, so they'll be pretty decent weights. So Ben's argument was that making the athletes do 15 reps at that load at the start of the weekend does not consider the athlete's weekend. It doesn't take into account. It's a selfish workout in the sense that it might be a sexy looking workout, or it just it looks like it's brutal because it's 6 reps, but it doesn't actually respect the athlete's journey throughout the weekend. What are your thoughts on that? I feel like it's not that bad. I feel like for this level of athlete, they can probably handle 15 squats at that weight. There's the other argument, and I heard Tommy Marquez and also Brian Friend talk about this, and then Ben Smith. And one of the things, I think it was Ben Smith that brought up this point, is that we're trying to just find the strongest person here. That's what this test is trying to get to. Or is it? That's the thing. Like, we don't know what the intent behind any of these workouts are. These events, these programmers, they are not required. At the moment, they're not required to submit a justification for every single workout. Would that be a good thing? Wouldn't that be cool if every semifinal event, and maybe even the games, alongside publishing the workouts, also has to be a paragraph talking about the intent of the workout, what they're actually testing, and what they're trying to achieve with that workout, a bit of justification. That could be a really cool addition, just for everyone to understand, okay, cool, this is what we're trying to test. We're trying to test absolute strength, or we're trying to test muscular endurance. What are we trying to test here? Ben asks that question a lot throughout the podcast, but do you think that a 1 max clean and jerk, do you think the same people will finish at the top, or do you think the same people will finish throughout the whole leaderboard as this workout, the barbell complex? Will the exact same people finish where they would have if it was a 1 max clean and jerk? I wonder. I do think the 1 or 2 strongest guys and girls in the field will probably still win this, but I do think that 6 repetitions is different to just a 1 max clean and jerk. I think that there are athletes in the field that can execute a heavy jerk after 1 clean, but perhaps couldn't execute that jerk after 3 cleans and 2 front squats, after 5 reps. I do think that it is a different workout. And although I do think that the strongest men and women in the field will still come out on top on this workout, I do feel like the rest of the leaderboard might look different if it was a 1 max clean and jerk, if you know what I mean. So let me know down in the comments. Workout number 1 from CrossFit. Is it a good one? Is it a bad one? Should it just be a 1 max clean and jerk? Does that achieve the same thing while respecting the athlete's journey throughout the weekend? Is that a valid factor that Ben brings up? Okay, workout number 2. Now, the Syndicate Crown, I believe one of their sponsors is Torque, the Torque tank, or the creators of the Torque tank. And so obviously they've got to incorporate the Torque tank into a workout somewhere. And that's what we have here on workout number 2. It's a lot of reps of a lot of things. So we've got 30 cals on the Eco Bike, the Rogue Eco Bike. Then we're pushing the Torque tank, 75 feet. Then we've got 30 double dumbbell burpee deadlifts. When I saw that, I was like, oh, that's an odd movement for CrossFit. It seems like a bit more of a HIIT class or a fit class or a boot camp type of movement. But nevertheless, 30 of those, double dumbbell, push to tank, then 20 cals on the Eco Bike. Again, push to tank, 75 foot. Then 20 dumbbell hang snatches, push to tank, 10 cal Eco Bike, push to tank, 10 devil's press. So a decent amount of work, but Ben's argument here was there is no separation. There's no separation factor. Like, all the athletes are going to move at the same pace, and there's no movement or no part in the workout where someone's going to get stuck, And again, in the Syndicate Crown's defense, we don't know what they're trying to achieve here. Maybe they are saying that, hey, we're trying to find the person who can move through this without stopping once, like just continually move and grind through it. And maybe that's their intent for this workout. Who knows? The issue comes in when you look at another 2 workouts later on that test a very similar thing. So you can then make the argument, even if that is the intent for this workout, why are there 2 more workouts that are so similar and test for what looks like the same thing? Now, with the Talk Tank, I've got no experience with the Talk Tank, but listening to what Ben had to say and talking to James Newbury yesterday, apparently with the Talk Tank, the effort you have to put in to go a little bit faster on the Talk Tank is not worth the effort. It's not worth the while. You might as well just push it at a moderate intensity and move at the same pace as the rest of the field, because the effort you're putting in to try and go any faster, it's just not worth it. It's not proportionate. And so, is that a great implement? Let's say, I say use it. Like, by all means, use a Talk Tank. If they're a sponsor, use it. But use it in a way where it's just pre-fatiguing you for the actual movement that's being tested. So let's take away all these calories on the bike and all the dumbbell movements. Let's say, for example, there was a gymnastics movement that followed that, or a moderately heavy barbell that followed that, and you just use that Talk Tank to pre-fatigue you, get the heart rate up, get the legs burning before moving into the movement that actually matters, that's actually going to be the separator. Sure, use it in that way, but it's such a massive part of this workout. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times they have to push it. Yeah, I think I agree with Ben. I think that's a little bit of a boot campy workout that's not really appropriate for, qualifying people for the CrossFit Games. What are your thoughts on that? Like, I think the dumbbell movements, like, you're not going to stop. You're just going to keep moving at a steady pace. Same with the eco bike. Like, I just keep saying eco bike. It's the eco bike. So yeah, there you go. Workout number 2. Then let's talk about workout number 3. This is the second workout that CrossFit has provided the semifinals. This is the 10 legless rope climbs with the run in between. It's funny because when CrossFit didn't repeat a workout, when there was no repeat workout in the open, people were up in arms that there were no repeat workout. Now there is a repeat workout, and people are up in arms that it's the wrong repeat workout. So you can't win, really, can you? Like, no matter what you say or do or put out there, someone's gonna not love it, and that's just the way the world is. But was this the best workout for CrossFit to choose? I was lying in bed the other night thinking, what is the most watched or the most anticipated event at the Olympics? What's the most famous one that people just love to watch? And I think you'd have to agree it's the 100-meter sprint. It's an event that lasts less than 10 seconds. The separation between athletes is so minimal, but people love it. People love to watch it. And I just wonder if this workout is that. If this workout, because, the commentary or the criticism that I keep hearing is that this is there's no separation in this workout. Give me 1 second. The owner of this podcast studio just texts me. Oh, he's asking if I want a coffee. I do want a coffee. Let me get my coffee. Flat white. Thanks, brew. There you go. We got a coffee coming. Yeah, the criticism or the feedback has been there's no separation. This is too easy for the men, especially. It's going to just be so close, and the room for a judgment error on the judge's part with the legless rope climbs is so large. But is it? Like, if there's something to touch, if you've got to touch the beam at the top, it's pretty easy to see if someone's touched the beam or not, right? Like, or I don't know, like maybe if they get their fingertip on it and you can't see it from the bottom, maybe it's not a great movement to judge at that speed where every second is so important. I don't hate it, man. I don't hate it. I feel like back in 2014, the men, they weren't sprinting these runs in between. They were jogging in between because legless rope climbs were still such a new thing and probably a lot more taxing than it's going to be this year. I do think this year it's going to be obviously a lot faster, but will that make it more fun to watch? And is there anything wrong with the separation being split seconds? Like, why does it always have to be a massive separation? Could we not have something like a 100-meter sprint where the separation is so minimal. And I think this event could be that. So I don't hate this event personally, but yeah, there's been a lot of backlash on this particular event. Sure, maybe they could have chosen something more exciting, but again, are they trying to allow for the events? Are they trying to allow more freedom for the events to program, more the sexy looking workouts with more implements? Because both of these workouts are obviously very simplistic. They've left a lot on the table for the events to work with. Cool, event 4. Concept 2 erg, another machine. Concept 2 erg, wall balls, and GHD sit-ups. Now this event's probably out of the lot, this is my favorite. And it's my favorite because I think that the thing they're trying to test here, to me, when I look at it, is they're trying to test handstand walk under fatigue. So they're obviously fatiguing your shoulders by doing wall balls. They're fatiguing your midline by doing GHD sit-ups. They're getting you out of breath by doing the Concept 2 ski erg, and then you got to walk on your hands and you got to do it unbroken. It's not that far. It's only 40-foot increments, which is, I believe, about 12 meters. So very easy to do for most athletes. To do 12 meters unbroken is not a big deal. I think that should have been a bit further, more like 20 meters. Unbroken, that would have been more significant. But this is definitely my favorite out of the lot. I don't have a whole lot to say on this one other than I'm interested to see what happens to athletes' handstand walks towards the later part of this workout, like after the set of 40s, after the set of 50s. What are we going to look at? Are people going to struggle to get those 12 meters unbroken, or is it again going to be just too easy? I feel like it's not far enough. I feel like the handstand walk had to be further for it to be the actual thing that they're testing. Because again, ski erg, wall ball, GHD setup, no one's going to break those. Maybe the 40s and 50s, maybe, but everyone's going to move at a pretty similar pace throughout that, and it's going to be how fast can you walk on your hands under fatigue. So yeah, I don't hate that workout. I think it's okay. But then you scroll across to the next workout, which is the Jackie style workout. And straight away you realize, this is a very obvious thing. Again, you see another machine, a rower. So now we've had a ski erg, we've had the echo bike, we've had the torque tank, now we've got the rower. So it's a lot of machines for one weekend. And that's one of the main things that Ben points out. But now we get 50 thrusters. We've just done 150 wall balls. Now we're going into 100 thrusters of an empty bar. It's exactly the same movement, isn't it? Like an empty bar thruster, I don't care what you say, an empty bar thruster and a wall ball, it's the same movement. Okay, it's exactly the same movement. So you're going from 150 wall balls to 100 thrusters, light thrusters. It's the same movement. It should have been something else. That's a mistake. So again, this workout, it's got a 2K row. That's about 7 minutes worth of rowing. That is the majority of the workout. Athletes are going to move the same pace on the thrusters, the same pace on the chest bar pull-ups. So this is very much a rowing workout. Who's got the fastest 2K row? Who's got the fastest 1K row? So yeah, again, not a great workout. Just considering what was the previous workout. And then lastly, King Kong 2.0. I'm really confused by this workout in that it's going to be too easy. It's going to be way too easy and way too fast. 8 ring muscle ups, that's a joke for a games athlete. 6 deficit handstand push-ups, that's a joke for a CrossFit Games athlete. 4 sandbag to shoulder at 200 pounds for the men, 150 for the ladies. That is a joke for a CrossFit Games athlete. I can see athletes holding on to the bag and just touching and going, not even dropping it. Just going to the shoulder, holding on, tapping and going again. That's what they'll do. I would venture to say that I can do 4 tap and go unbroken. Maybe not for 3 rounds after doing the other things, but what I'm saying is that I'm not even a quarterfinal level athlete, and I think I can do a 200-pound sandbag ground to shoulder unbroken. And then 2 full snatches at 205 and 145. Too easy for a games athlete. This is going to be such a fast workout. And again, the hard thing is we don't know the intent of the programmers. I'm sure they sat down and went, this is our intent, this is what we're doing, but we don't get to see that, right? And so it's easy to criticize. But yeah, I would 100% agree with Ben Smith that this group of workouts does not, to me, represent a level of competition that is appropriate to qualify someone for the CrossFit Games. Yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. And here's the scary thing, guys. Because I thought, okay, what's the solution here? The solution is next year, CrossFit programs all the workouts. We go back to regional style where all the workouts across all the semifinals are the same. All 6 workouts are programmed by CrossFit HQ, the CrossFit Games programming team. So I thought that was a solution. But then CrossFit Games, they have to sign off on these workouts. I know this. I know that all the semifinals have to submit, they've got to submit their workouts to Adrian Bosman and the programming team, and then they come back with suggestions or changes. And so these workouts were sent. These workouts were sent to the CrossFit Games team, and they came back and they didn't change it. So they accepted this programming, which to me is like, oh, okay, well, if initially my thought was if CrossFit Games programs everything, that's a good solution to these problems. But then that's the same team that has signed off on these workouts. So what do you do with that? You know? I don't know. I do think that every workout should be the same and programmed by CrossFit. I do think that we should go back to regional style. I think that I like the fact that it's, and we've talked about this before, I like the fact that the events are run by third-party, by external event management companies. I like that idea because it is cool that there's different logos and different vibes at these events, and there's still enough room for them to make it their own. At Torian last year alone, we had, paint the pro pink on Saturday morning, where everyone, the crowd, the athletes, will all wear pink to raise money for domestic violence in Australia. They had the haka, on the last day. They had the haka there. They had these flames coming up with the heavy lift. There's enough room for creativity to make the event your own and to express what you want to express as a organization, as an event, while the workouts are given to you by CrossFit HQ. So I do think that is the way they should go, but it is worrying, it is concerning that CrossFit had signed off on these workouts, because there are some very, very, very obvious just mistakes that shouldn't have been made. The most obvious ones being how heavily this leans towards machines and how good you are in machines. And secondly, like the thruster warble thing is a shocker. And then it's like the rep schemes and the weights on the King Kong 2.0. It's just a little bit, it's not great. So, my tribe, I want to leave this with you and I want to hear what you have to say. On every one of those 6 workouts, are there any good ones? Which ones do you love? Which ones do you hate? Specifically, what do you think about the 2 workouts that CrossFit gave them? I don't mind them. I think both of them are okay and valid. I think they're fine. I think it leaves 4 more workouts for the event to do a great job with. Some events will do great with those. I think Torian's done a great job with those. But then unfortunately others will butcher it, like the Syndicate Crown perhaps. Do you think Ben Smith is just being romantic and just is not up for change, just wants things to remain the way it has always been? Do you think that plays into it a bit, or do you think he's got some valid points? I do encourage you, jump on Ben Smith's YouTube channel, watch the whole podcast. It is worthwhile. The man has some knowledge for sure. And I think that's about it. I think it was a valid topic to talk about because it is important, right? Like these athletes work so hard. It is their life now. It is important that these tests are to a high standard, that they are trustworthy tests and respect the athletes. I think that is so worth the conversation. It's not just about bitching and moaning. It is actually about just pointing out and recognizing that, hey, this is not right. Like it needs to be addressed. And I think that's the attitude that Ben brings to it. One thing I will say, like Ben puts his hand up to help program. Obviously, you can't do that if you're still an athlete. So I assume that he's talking about, or he means like once I retire, once I'm done competing, give me a call. I'll help you with the programming. Because obviously someone like himself or Rich, they can't be programming for these events right now. They are still competitive athletes. They're still taking part in these events, so that doesn't work. Yes. I think that's it. For today. Just a bit of a programming discussion. I hope you enjoyed that, and let me know down in the comments, what do you think? Guys, next Monday, I might give this show a miss because it'll be the day after Torian, and I know I'm going to have a bunch of things to deliver to them. But what I will bring you that week, so the week after the Torian Pro, I'm going to bring you some behind the scenes, like I did last year, some great behind the scenes vlogs. So next week, we'll take a break from the About Last Week show, and we'll go again the week after. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed these Monday mornings. Let me know down in the comments. And again, if you're not subscribed, guys, just do me a favor and check. See if you are subscribed. Join the tribe. That'll be much appreciated. Okay. Stay sexy. Keep roaring love. And I'll see you soon. Mwah.
CrossFit's awesome.